Today's episode is brought to you by you, the fans. Thanks to everyone who watched or listened to episode 1. Please join us this episode as Brian watches the first ever Ring of Honor pay-per-view. And now, let's start the show. Welcome to the Wrestling Without Context podcast. Join me, Sean, a lifelong wrestling fan, as I take my friend Brian.
That's me.
A complete unknown to the world of sports entertainment, on a thrilling journey into the world of professional wrestling. With no prior knowledge or context, Brian experiences the magic, drama, and unforgettable moments of wrestling for the first time. Join them as they navigate through the world of larger-than-life characters, jaw-dropping feats, and stories that make wrestling an unforgettable experience. Hello to everybody that is joining us for episode 2 of the Wrestling Without Context podcast. Again, my name is Sean. I'm here with my co-host Brian.
And that's my name.
Yes, that is your name. Those of you that are joining us for the first time, the way this show works is prior to recording our episode, Brian and I watch a match that Brian has never seen before. And then we also watch something what I'll call wrestling adjacent, a segment, a promo, reality TV, whatever tickles our fancy. We then hit record and Brian gives us his wonderful thoughts about what he just watched. Just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, as of recording this, we have not actually dropped our first episode. So we recorded our first episode all the way back in February. Things happen, life happened, schedules changed, and now we are back for episode 2. So for those of you that have made it all the way over to episode 2, thank you very much for listening to our pilot episode where we talked about WrestleMania 2000 and the first ever TLC match. Brian, after digesting that match, sitting for it for about a month, any other thoughts? Anything that you've thought about since we've last spoke about it?
TLC stands for Tender Love and Care, and I really think that embodies the match itself.
Yes, everyone took great care of one another by throwing each other into tables and off of ladders.
Absolutely. I forget what TLC does stand for, the ladder?
So it was not called TLC at that point, but it is...
Table, ladder, chair?
Yes, tables, ladders, and chairs. The tables are for the Dudleys, the ladders are for the Hardys, and eventually Edge and Christian get to be known for using chairs.
Okay, nice.
We also watched Tough Enough, Season 1, Episode 3, where Triple H seemed to dress down all of the contestants. Something I was able to decipher because it was not abundantly clear because we had no context when we were watching it. There was a big to-do about a Goldberg poster, and they seemed to insinuate that it was Jason's fault by the amount of times they kept showing Jason every time they talked about Goldberg. Well, through my clever use of research, I did not want to go back and watch episodes 1 and 2, but I did. Apparently I did. So no, we're going to have to go back.
So I did my research, but I didn't want to do my research.
Hey, this is America. I did my own research. By doing my own research, please, I found a Reddit comment that just told me.
Oh, no.
Which is exactly what I did. Because
so good.
Even if I wanted to go back and watch the episode, they just kind of go through everybody's room, and the context of the scene is one of the coaches comes through and rips everyone's stuff down. It's like, hey, get out of bed, don't worry about your bed. And then he comes through and sees the Goldberg poster and rips it down, but like you don't really get to see who was in the room. So I assume there was some kind of context of whose room that actually was, or maybe there's a part where he's like, oh man, I love Goldberg, and he puts up the photo. I didn't see it. So
this is my room.
Yeah, it was Jason. It was Jason who did it. So poor Jason. And also, I wanted to correct myself because as I was editing it, I realized I misspoke. I said my friend and I took Brian to a professional wrestling show called All In. We did not go to All In. It is actually another show, and this is how confusing it can be, called All Out. All In was the very exactly. Brian's looking at me like I'm crazy. So All In
I love
was
the naming conventions.
So it's funny, like All In was like the first, for those of you that know, the first indie show that led into AEW, and eventually their second pay-per-view, they did Double or Nothing, and then they did All Out. It was like, okay, but now they've also brought back All In, which is now like their big WrestleMania show. So like this year they're in Texas. And then what was really crazy is 2 years ago they did it All Out. And then like 2 weeks later, or no, see, now I'm getting confused. They did All In, and 2 weeks. 2 weeks later it was like, and we're going to do All Out still. It's like, oh, dear God, are we all out? We all in?
We're both.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that. So yeah,
they're all in, but they're going all out.
But that's the Oh yeah, so it is All In does come first. So yes, that actually does make sense. Thank you, Brian.
I got you.
I got you. Okay, so Brian, how have you been since our last podcast? Anything you've been watching? Any like not professionally wrestling related, but anything you've been playing, reading? What is Brian doing with his life?
So, okay, best show on TV right now, it's The Pit, if anybody hasn't started watching it yet. Get out of here with this. Get out of here with this. Best show on TV right now. Severance 2 was very, very good, but The Pit, something about The Pit. It leaves you feeling empty after every episode. You just sit on the couch for an hour just thinking about there's nothing that I can do that's nearly as enjoyable as watching the show.
So you're saying it leaves you feeling empty, like you're in a pit?
Like I'm in a pit, yeah. Yep.
Speaking of puns, so I called last week's episode the pilot episode, and I'm kicking myself.
Oh, how dare.
We never made an analogy of it being a pilot episode featuring a full-blown pilot. Which is you.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, that's exactly. It sounds like a Ferrari. It's not a concept. I'm just imagining the Three Stooges now, like falling out of the sky.
No, don't imagine that.
Yeah, not again.
That's too real.
Yeah, no. So I've heard good things about The Pit, but again, it's just one of those shows. Like people ask me if I want to watch like Chicago Fire.
It's hyped.
It's also hyped as well. It's the same with Severance. Like I mentioned Severance in the last episode. I've never seen an episode of Severance. I just know everyone's talking about it.
Yeah. I don't watch medical shows though. This is the thing. Like I don't watch medical shows. I don't do Grey's Anatomy. I don't do Chicago Meds. I don't do anything. And The Pit just wrapped.
Well, apparently I remember seeing some stuff where they did it like an entire like pregnancy thing. Like it was like a whole bunch of stuff, and dealing with my own like I had to do it. My own wife's pregnancy. I was as far away as I could. I think my head was against the wall at one point, like just facing away. So like I don't know. I go through those things in my normal profession of just like having to see those sort of things, and I'm just like, I'm good.
This show is definitely not on a network.
Exactly.
Let me tell you that.
So I'll talk about the wrestling stuff that I've been watching.
Yeah, what have you been watching?
Yeah, so I've been pretty well caught up on AEW. I like what's going on. I've been watching Ring of Honor, which is apropos to what we are going to be talking about today, because back when Ring of Honor got booted back up, it was a 3-hour show. I couldn't watch it. Now it's a digestible hour 20 out of my day. So instead of watching 50-minute medical dramas, I'm watching an hour and 30 wrestling shows. That's
not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I play because I use my time wisely. All right. Well, Brian, are you ready to hop into it?
Let's do it.
All right. Yes. So today, our match that we are discussing, it is from Ring of Honor, the very first
Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire. Yes, Johnny Cash, Man in Black, Ring of Honor. And now I'm off track.
There was a man in white in this one.
Yes, they're very white. The white milk
the
toast.
Whitey tighties.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about. People are like, would you just come on?
Would you just tell me what you want?
There's a bit in Back to the School with Rodney Dangerfield where Sam Kinniston's just yelling at people saying, say it, like not letting people get it. That's people yelling at the podcast right now. It's like, will you just talk about the wrestling already?
We're friends first. Yeah, wrestling fanatics second, everybody. Calm down.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, pull over. If you're listening to this in your car, turn it off, go for a walk. We're just reeling them in, Brian. We're telling them to stop listening.
Well, they've made it to the second one at this point. So.
Yeah, I know. All right, so we watched the very first Ring of Honor pay-per-view. It was called The Era of Honor Begins. It took place on February 23rd, 2002 in Philadelphia. It was the main event, which was a triple threat between the American Dragon, who's also known as Bryan Danielson, but at this point he was only known as American Dragon. It also featured Low Ki and Fallen Angel, not the Fallen Angel, just Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Wait, there's two wrestlers called Fallen Angel and the Fallen Angel?
I just found it interesting that he's not the Fallen Angel. He's just a Fallen Angel. Angel.
Okay.
Christopher Daniels. And the match was about 30 minutes, give or take. Brian, what did you think of this match?
It's pretty good. It's very physical. There's a lot of flips and tricks going on in it. They were stunting hard.
I wanted to create a dichotomy between these two episodes. So we watched WrestleMania 16, which is like all this spectacle. And
yeah, that was spectacle. This was like physical, like impressive flips.
I wanted to bring us back down to what an indie show.
So what wrestling kind of is.
Yes, it takes place in a rec center in Philadelphia.
I thought it was my high school at first.
Yeah, I know. Like I both love and hate. Like I love wrestling. I was about to say engagements. My real life job is about to come up. So I love wrestling events that take place in unconventional places, but of course it takes place in a high school gym. You could obviously tell it's 2002. There's probably no air conditioning because the doors are open that you could see. Yep. Like that was one of my favorites is you could just see people out in the hallways just looking in, like just peering over.
What's going on in there?
Exactly.
I'm off to the library.
One of the things I love about this match, our good friend Justin, who's a big professional wrestling fan, ruined triple threats matches for me forever when he explained. He's like, you know what triple threat match is? They usually try and figure out how to get someone out of the ring, and it just ends up being two people fighting.
That didn't really happen in this one.
Yes, so I had never seen this match until a couple of years ago because it was part of the pandemic. I was fiending for some physical media. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy the first ever Ring of Honor DVD. And I watched this match. I was like, they're not really leaving. Like no one really goes to the outside. Now, however, I did notice that I've now seen it enough times. I'm noticing like someone will get kicked and they'll roll under a turnbuckle and sort of get out of the way, which is kind of the same thing, but not the same thing. But no, everyone stayed engaged. Like they told a story throughout that match of like, I
mean, it was 2-on-1 for a lot of time.
Yes. What did you think the story of the match was? Like you, Brian, going to Philadelphia in 2002, sitting down, don't know what's going on, watching these three guys. What do you think was going on?
Well, my first thought was, there's a story? I have no idea what the story is, but which shows up with all I had was Whitey Tidies first. I didn't catch that his name was American Dragon. And all I can think about is American Dragon Jake Long, which was this cartoon series back in like 2005.
I slightly I remember the Double Dragon cartoon. I do not remember
it was called American Dragon Jake Long is what it was called. And
I also
we had a wrestling priest in there as well. When it first showed up, I didn't know he was a wrestler. I thought he was like blessing the match or something. I didn't know what was happening.
Well, maybe one day we'll talk about Wrestling Jesus, who's now a big social media sensation.
There's a Wrestling Jesus?
Yes, there is. He's based in Chicago.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I love it.
He attended apparently at 97.9 for those of you in the Chicagoland area. He attended 97.9 The Loop's Cubs opening day party from what I saw on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. No, what I also loved is that basically Low Ki is just a Mortal Kombat character. Like
absolutely.
He's got that look, and then even when he's standing in place, he's got like
he's bouncing up and down.
Yeah, he's bouncing on his heels, like he's got a fighting stance, and he's just kicking the shit out of everybody.
So good.
Don't know. Like, who did you think was the bad guy in the match? If there was a bad guy.
If there was a bad guy, I think it had to have been American Dragon.
It was definitely not.
It was definitely not, because he was wearing white, so he's a white hat.
I'm gonna give you the context I've already given you and see if you can figure it out.
Did he turn heel at the end then? Because like at the end he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you down 1-on-1. You have no chance."
You may be. I'm not sure if you're getting people confused. I'm not inside your brain right now, but I'm gonna give you the context again. Christopher Daniels is named the Fallen Angel. So are Fallen Angels good or bad, Brian?
Well, they're misunderstood.
Yeah, he is.
No, they're bad. Oh, so he was the bad guy.
So yes, he priest
are bad.
Not necessarily. No, yeah. So
depends on what church you're part of.
Yeah, sorry, Catholics. sorry, Catholics and Christians. Sorry, this show isn't for you. I feel like I need to explain, like, because this is again another reason why I wanted to show this to you was because
I have no context.
Exactly, and I think WWE has the structure where they can sort of tell you about these characters, or they know that if someone hasn't watched before, they could sort of bring you in. It's like, I imagine bringing you to a show going, do you know who any of these people are? Because obviously the people in that crowd, most of them knew who they were looking at by the way they were cheering. Because
so if this was the first pay-per-view, was this like the first televised version of Ring of Honor? So like everybody was there, has been like following it show to show to show, like traveling with it?
So I'll give you like a little bit of the history behind it. So this is 2002. In 2001, two major wrestling companies, ECW and WCW, are now been bought out by WWE. So WWE is the only shop in town, especially when it comes to TV.
Wait, so WWE wasn't a thing before 2000?
It was. They just bought the other companies out, basically.
Oh, so there's like three big companies, and then they
big
made like
WCW was the 83 weeks. They beat WWE in the ratings. WWF at the time. ECW was a smaller regional, but had a cult-like following. Was mainly based around DVD sales and stuff like that, and eventually got on pay-per-view. Just never had the financial backing or the sponsorship that WWE has. Eventually were forced to go out of business. There's a company called RF Video who distributed ECW shows, their DVDs. RF Video now no longer has anything to distribute, so they shopped around. It's this particular man. His name's Rob Feinstein. We won't speak a ton about him for
don't talk about Feinstein.
So he tries to distribute for another company. They don't do it. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to start my own promotion, and that's how Ring of Honor is sort of born. So they base it in Philadelphia, which was a quote unquote ECW hotbed at that time. This is where ECW got like their big, usually had their bigger fans. Philadelphia has a lot of great fans, and what I'll say is they're very well.
Shout out to Philly!
Yeah, no,
a lot of great fans out there.
I love you. Thank you. So they're very well informed. So like, this is 2002. The internet is in its infancy. So like, in order to find things outside of WWE, you really have to search for it. And so the three particular people in these matches were very well known to like what I'll say is like hardcore wrestling fans.
Okay.
They had all wrestled. I think all of them had, especially Christopher Daniels, to wrestle in a show called King of the Indies. Indies is just another way to say independent promotion. It was like very, very, all these guys are very popular independently, but like they're not very big on TV. So like when people now actually get a chance to see them, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And like, as we saw, this was completely separate from what we saw in WrestleMania. What we're watching. Like, I also realized as I'm trying to figure out matches for you to watch, I need to start getting you to watch more one-on-one matches, because I always feel like there's a gimmick involved. But it's like, oh, it's a triple threat. Oh, there's ladders. Oh, something's on a pole. Which we'll get to, I'm sure, at some point.
Something's on a pole?
Yes. Sometimes a person.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
I'm interested in this kind of wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. And that's sort of the thing. Like, I'm trying to create a wrestling buffet for you of like, this is everything that wrestling has to offer. But like, and
nom,
like,
nom,
just
nom, let me eat it.
Yeah, I know. but it was this match was what you call very stiff. MMA is in its infancy at this point, so like you're seeing a lot more kicks and a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot of more kicks in this one.
Yeah, a lot more kicks. Nice. Another thing that Ring of Honor tries to differentiate. So there is a very particular wrestler personality who says you can be, when it comes to creating a product, you can be better than, you can be less than, or you can be different than. You can't be the same as. If people have the same option, you're not really going to go to it. So you're either going to be worse than them, better than them, or different than. So obviously Ring of Honor can't be better than WWE. They have nothing. So they created Ring of Honor. They actually created what they called the Code of Honor.
Ooh.
So they created this in their infancy. They created rules that everyone had to abide by. And it was very smart because if someone breaks those rules, obviously it turns them into a bad guy. I didn't really see a ton of these. It eventually becomes a bigger thing in their later shows, but they call them their 5 laws.
Okay.
The 5 laws are you must shake hands before every match. They basically say now it's like code of honor, recognize and stuff like that. And sometimes like the bad guy be like, he'll do the, hey, I'm not going to shake your hand. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no,
pull it away.
Yeah, exactly. There's no outside interference, so people can't run in. There's no sneak attacks. There's no harming of the official, so they can't hit the referee. And any action resulting in a disqualification violates the code of honor. I don't know what that means. Like if there's if there's a fine, if they don't have to go to the show, I don't. So what do you think of that? Like creating like sort of like, I won't say gimmicks, but creating things outside of the world of like to create a world of wrestling.
I like it. I think that does set it apart from WWE, and it kind of, this can't obviously be as big as WWE, but it kind of like puts it on a little bit of a pedestal that's like, hey, we have like rules here, man. Like,
yeah,
like
and we follow
honor, and like we're honorable wrestlers, like.
And eventually they get some very cool pay-per-view names like Death Before Dishonor.
Ooh.
Yeah. Something I do want to talk about, something that the commentating in this match.
They were so excited. They were so excited. This is the best match they've ever seen. It was so good.
Yeah, so if you go back and watch this match, you can watch. We watched it through Honor Club, which is Ring of Honor streaming service. Steve Corino, who's a wrestler, was one of the commentators. I don't know who the other person was. I think from what I read, he was involved in CZW, which is another promotion at the time, not to get too far down a rabbit hole, but they were like, this is the greatest professional wrestling match I have ever seen. And I'm just...
The luckiest people are the fans!
And
they're the luckiest!
And they're trying to sell the DVD. They're like, and the people that have already bought this, that have bought the tape, are watching this at home. It's like they said it multiple times. They're like, oh my God, this is the greatest match. And I sort of compare it to how I view The Watchmen, the comic book. So if you read the comic book, The Watchmen now, if you read it now, you're like, I don't see why this is so great. But you have to realize of the context of when it was...
Doodle-doo. That's the sound that plays every time we say the word
context. Of when it was written. So like when Watchmen was written, like superheroes didn't have psychological problems or were deviants of any kind. Everyone was a straight moral code, golden era, Superman, Batman. No one had no one had depression. No one drank.
Heck yeah, that's my kind of superhero. Exactly.
And now like that comes out, it's like, oh my God, this is completely different. And now like everything is like that. So me having watched wrestling for a time, it's like, this is, like we said, it's obviously different than a tables and ladders match, but like this is not anything I was watching in WWE at this point. It was like,
is this like changed kind of wrestling in the mainstream then?
Yes, I would say it becomes like they call it like quote unquote indie style wrestling, where it's like, oh, like they call it getting your shit in. It's like, oh, it's like a whole bunch of cool moves and hitting it. It's, especially now it's all becoming quote unquote viral. It's like how do you become viral on the internet and sort of sell yourself and get booked on more shows? And
how do we do TikTok wrestling?
It's pretty much that. Unfortunately, sometimes it's like, oh, and then you go and watch somebody's like, wow, that's all you are. I didn't see the other 15 minutes of your match. Not to say that it was horrible. Obviously, I can't do what they do, but at the same time, it's like, well, that's not entertaining. It was entertaining. I've seen this before. It's like when I see a comedian on the Tonight Show or something like that, and they do like a bit, and then you see them on their comedy special. It's like, I saw you do the same 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, I've already heard this before.
Yeah.
So for this one, I couldn't find anything for it last time, but just to give a little bit more context, not necessarily the star rating, but there is a professional wrestling reporter. His name is Dave Meltzer. He writes for the Wrestling Observer, and won't get into the yays or nays.
Long-time listener of the show.
Yes,
Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Uncle Dave. He did write about this show. Just so you know, Brian, Dave writes. I don't want to say both sides of his mouth, but it's like he reports on it like it's a real thing, like almost like someone for Variety would report on stuff.
This is not what you call a dirt mag. This is not a dirt rag.
No, this is exactly what they call a dirt sheet.
Oh, this is a dirt sheet. This is a dirt sheet. Okay.
Yes. So he also sometimes he goes with, hey, this is going to happen. Like he gets like a backstage scoop or something like that, and then something changes. He's like, well, plans changed. Okay. So. But no, not to get too far down. So he did actually write about this. So he wrote, we got tons of positive feedback on the debut of Rob Feinstein, Ring of Honor promotion on 223 in Philadelphia, which sold out several days ahead of time with 375 paid and 425 total. I never get what those numbers mean, if they mean the crew at the Murphy Rec Center. The show is said to be very well organized, and most of the matches were good. The limited amount of traditional excesses on indie shows, such as having too many matches, too many run-ins, and too much mic work, a lot of high-flying undercard matches. Steve Carino did color commentary with CC. Yep, so there's where I found it. CZW announcer Eric Gargulio. He got 4.5 to see. This is where his star ratings come in. 4.5 to 4 3/4 ratings for the main event. A three-way with Low Key winning over American Dragon and Christopher Daniels in a match which went more than 25 minutes. All three wound up welted from the stiff chops and kicks. Low Key pinned Daniels to win, and after the match, they did a first linky mic work of the show with Daniels carrying it, challenging for a round-robin match where each would wrestle 2 matches on the next show. The only negative comments we heard is that too many of the undercard guys were dropping each other on the heads with suplexes.
There was a lot of suplexes going on.
Well, I guess apparently in previous matches, it's like, all right, we're just going to drop you on your head and not sort of protect you, which I don't know if you noticed it, but like Low Key, like when he was doing like the kicks to the head, like he was kicking you in the face.
He was kicking. He was really kicking, but then there was a
So I think I saw
American Dragon. He did some kicks that did not even like connect.
Yeah, I felt bad because like 3/4 of the audience couldn't see where he was, but that camera that we were watching was just like right up in his business, and he obviously just kind of slightly slide swipes and then completely like there's a good half an inch in between his foot. But again, this isn't a real show. This isn't a real fight. You're supposed to protect each other. It's just a story, but sometimes Low Key forgets that.
He low key forgets.
Yeah, low. Yes. So, any other thoughts on the match before we move on?
I used to have knee pads like American Dragon. I used to do Taekwondo, and I used to have knee pads like him.
Yes. So, how did you feel about the white tights?
It was a little shocking at first, me who's not used to wrestling. This seems like a pretty common outfit for a lot of guys, like just the little spandex undies, but like this one was just like high beam white.
I know.
Out here.
I always like feel bad or not feel bad. So I sweat. I'm a sweater.
Oh, me too.
So like I worry about
anytime I would do a show, I had to get. Let me tell you, Sean, because I was in theater. Everybody, hello. I had to get a special like spray to like cement my makeup on my face because I would sweat it off too much. Yeah. It was awful. I'm a sweater, man.
Like you fall on the ground and it's just a face on the ground.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. It's like Mission Impossible, but worse.
But worse.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm a sweater.
So
too.
like I worry about like I've only pooped myself once in the past decade.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it was one of those ones where it's like, oh man, like my stomach feels really bad. I really need like, oh, maybe if I just fart, and then you strain a little bit too hard, and then all of a sudden,
trust a fart.
Exactly, it just goes up. Well, that's a little wet. I need to go downstairs. I need to be a private. I need to strip my clothes off and.
I won't leave you alone on this conversation. I pooped myself during COVID while I was working. So I'm working at home. So I had to like get off the telephone and go.
Wait, you were at. So my thing, I was in a car when I was doing this. You were at home. You had access to a bathroom, Brian.
My bathroom was literally like 15 feet away from me, and I was on the telephone and I just had to fart, and I did, and I was like, oh, hold on 1 second, and I put them on hold and I went to go change my pants.
See, I just would have sat in it. Just waited. Just so no.
I mean, I need to know what happened. I was just, oh, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna put you on a quick hold. Whoop, got changed. I'm not gonna sit in my
So, like, anytime you put anybody on hold now, anybody that's listening to the show, they're going to be wondering, did Brian just poop himself again?
Yep. Hey, that's always a question to be wondering, guys.
I remember, again, we're going off on a tangent. My son was laying on me, and he just turned 8, and I just felt his stomach, like, contracting, like, straining, like he was, like, engaging his core. I'm like, you're trying to poop, aren't you? Like, he wasn't really making...
He just turned 8?
8 months old.
Oh, 8 months old. I thought you just said he just turned 8. And I was like, what?
Yeah, no, yeah, he's a big guy.
He's a big pooper.
Yeah, I know. He has big poop. He's eating real food now. He's got big poop. Getting that good protein, bro.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
So where were so white tights? I'm like, and there's been stories of wrestlers pooping themselves in the ring as well.
Really?
Yeah. So like if they have the flu.
I mean, those are some like physical moves of like dropping you on your head. I might release a little sphincter too.
Yeah, oh god, release a little sphincter. I've never heard it that way before. I'm gonna start using it.
It's all muscles, man.
Hang on, I gotta go release the sphincter. It's real puckered right now. So
all right, this might need an explicit tag or a warning before the episode.
See, this is the thing. Like people like watching this wrestling match, like all the moves, and that's like we're wondering how he gets away with pooping himself in those trunks.
These are the real questions.
Yes, I also felt like I was kind of watching you throughout the match, and like there were some cool moves in there, and I felt like it just did not hit with you at all. Like where he's doing like the double camel clutch Boston Crab, where the guy's got 2 separate guys in a submission hold.
Yeah, I wouldn't know to call it a double Dutch Captain Crunch or anything, but
double Dutch camel clutch.
But
like a Dutch oven.
But I was like, oh, it was a double pin. He pinned both of them, and then one got away. I don't even know names anymore. Like I don't know who did what, but one got away, and then he did like a reversal and like tried to like pin him with a bridge or something. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I will say I'm glad you're learning, because at no point did you go, why are they trying to break up the pin or something like that.
Well, here's one thing. Like at first I thought someone said like the only way to win was with a submission. So I didn't think pins were going to be a thing in this one. Is a pin a submission?
A pin is a way to end the match. Yeah, or a pin is a way to end the match. A submission is a way to end the match.
Okay, like I thought someone had to would like tap out to end the match. Like I didn't think pins were going to be a thing in this one.
Oh, great! Another thing to worry about.
Oh, pins too. Darn.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to catch my breath.
Well, again, like I'm showing you this match, and I'm wondering, like, what would Brian be thinking in the crowd? Going, what is happening?
That's exactly what would be happening.
And like, while they don't, like, from far away, like, let's say we're sitting in the back row, I'm sure you would have definitely gotten Low Key and Christopher Daniels, both shaved head wrestlers, confused constantly.
Still did. Did.
No, even though one has a very particular jaw or brow line.
And I had perfect seats for this one.
Yeah, I know. It's like I was right there in the action. I still couldn't figure it out.
Fallen Angel, a Fallen Angel, not the Fallen Angel. He had a move called Angel Wings. What was that?
Oh yeah, he didn't get a chance to hit it. He basically he underhooks the arms and like bent, like you're sort of bent over, and then he like lifts you up. Your legs go in the air.
like wings.
And then he basically does like a pivot and turns and drops you.
Okay,
it's a very cool looking move. He did actually.
Is it a suplex? Because apparently every time someone drops you, that's a suplex.
It's like not all. I always mess this up in police language. It's like not all murders are homicides, but not all homicides are murders, I think is what it is.
Oh, because you got manslaughter in there. So this one's a manslaughter, right?
So like not all suplexes technically drop you on the back of your head.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
cool. All right.
Because like sometimes it's called like a driver, like the difference between a back suplex and a backstop or backslide driver or whatever it's called, like still confounds me to this day. Like I'm like, who's calling what?
Cool.
However,
I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
I have a seasoned wrestling fan who doesn't know what the moves are. I love it. Perfect.
And what was it? And so he did do a move. It eventually becomes called the BME, the best moonsault ever, where he jumps from the mat onto the middle turnbuckle. He then does a full jump to the top and then does the backflip. I saw you pop for that.
He did that backflip. Yeah, that backflip was awesome.
So I had to turn my mic off because he does it in such succession that people start going, best moonsault jump ever.
Oh, I like that. That's
exactly
cool.
Yeah. No, Christopher Daniels is like. So someone made the argument that he's one of the greatest "quote unquote" independent wrestlers of all time, even though he because he had been wrestling for a decade at that point, and he was just starting to get popular. But like all like the cool shit he was doing, everyone starts copying, and he kind of gets his break a little bit, but like he doesn't go like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage, like top of the world, but like he's always like one of those appreciated guys, especially for like the hardcore wrestling fans. I'm sure this is not the last time we'll see either him or the American Dragon. But however, Brian, just as I asked you last week about had you ever seen Christian before, have you ever seen anybody in this match before? And again, you have. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, is the yes guy.
Is the S guy?
Yes. Y-E-S.
Yes guy.
Do you remember pointing up in the air? Going yes?
At the show, and I was going yes with everybody in the crowd?
Yes, that was the guy you thought was Triple H as well, I think.
That was American Dragon?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
he wrestles for AEW now.
He is now kind of retired. He's had multiple, apparently too many suplexes dropping on his head. He had a lot of neck issues.
I believe it.
So, I'm sure
there was also this Three Stooges move in this match as well, when they're both kicking Fallen Angel. They're just kicking him, and then on the third one, they both kick each other in the leg, and it was awesome. Yeah,
like when I say storytelling, it's like certain things like that. It's like, no, I'm better. I can kick him better. And Christina's like, ow, like, stop it. I also liked where there's like a couple of combination moves. I saw you pop for the DDT again.
DDT, I forget what it stands for. Death Drop today.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten to it. I will curate a Jake the Snake match for you at some point, and we will talk all about the DDT, but just not yet. There was like another one where
I don't know what DDT stands for yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, good. It's not that I forgot. I just have never known. Okay.
Yeah, because Brian doesn't know. Brian doesn't know DDT. I feel like showing you this match, you had the same reaction my wife would have had. It's like, it's okay. Like I can understand it, but like.
I love it when you compare me to your wife. I love it so much.
I know. Well, like she's the only like sort of non-wrestling fan that watches wrestling with me, and there's some things she connects to. There's some things she doesn't. Like something where I can like fully appreciate like all the work that I know is going into making a match like that happen, and sort of all the cool things they did, and knowing like eventually what it be like the styles that are born out of this. But then just bringing like John Q casual fan that has no idea who these people are, what's going on, what these moves are, why people are cheering, why they're screaming holy shit as like.
I need to watch you watch a match for the first time and see what your reaction is.
Yes, I'm trying to think of something that we can watch together for the first time. So that is definitely on my list of things that we're going to do. So anything else before we wrap this up and move on to our segment?
Yeah, we were talking about heel turns. Did American Dragon turn heel at the end of this
Oh
thing?
no, so yes, so we talked about that. This is something I want to talk about, so thank you very much. So we watched the ending bit of this match where American Dragon gets on the mic, or I think Low Key gets on the mic first, and he goes, we need to fight each other to figure this out. And it's like, who's the best? And like at this time there's all these like different, everyone has their opinion, like who's the best wrestler in the world, and be like, no, it's Low Key, no, it's American Dragon, or no, it's Christopher Daniels. And then Christopher Daniels comes in, he's like, you know what, I'm the best, and you guys cheated because you guys beat the crap out of me together. He's like, if it was a one-on-one match, I would have beat the two of you. And they try and set up the next show, which I think is called like the Round Robin Special or something like that. Okay. But I wanted to show it to you because like, watching WrestleMania, watching WWE has their TV to set up. It's like, how do you get people in the building again? They already have their proven infrastructure. Mm-hmm. How do you, as an independent promotion, get people to come back? And like, you don't know if these wrestlers aren't signed to you. They're independent contractors. So it's like, am I going to have these people next week? Are they going to get injured? How do I set up a next show? So like, how did you sort of react to that as sort of watching it? Did it make sense to you, like what they were trying to do?
Yeah, it made sense to me. It made sense to me at what they were doing. Like, I only lost because there was two of you, but on a one-on-one, I would have totally kicked your butt. And like, no, I would have done the same. And then Christopher Angel comes in, and he's like,
Angel.
he's like, no, I would have won. You both were kicking me in the back. So yeah.
So, like the way they would have done. Like the way the territories used to work back in the day is like you would do the same match, but like it wouldn't be televised and stuff like that. So they would do some kind of like.
Oh, so you could see the same match over and over again if you followed them around.
Exactly. Or like someone would get pinned, but then it's like, oh, their foot, you think they won, but oh no, their foot was under the rope. So no, this guy actually technically won or something like that. And so you would just keep redoing the match with like certain, they call it the Dusty finish for after Dusty Rhodes, where it's like, oh no, he won the title. It's like, oh, nope, something stupid happened. He actually didn't win. He actually lost the match. Come back next week. Let's see if he wins again.
Oh, so it's not the same like like it's the same people, but it's not like behind the curtain. It's not the same choreography. It's not the. It may be.
It sort of depends on what they want to do, but like they sort of like they would travel around to like different shows, and then they put it on. Then they finally put the match on TV. So yeah, cool. So yeah, let's put a bow on this. Yay, nay, something you might come back to.
I'd be interested to see how the Round Robin worked, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm sure this isn't the first time the only time we'll watch Christopher Daniels or Bryan Danielson or Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor eventually becomes like the third quote unquote biggest promotion in the United States. Like they
are they still around?
The pandemic killed everything. When you don't have fans, you can't have shows and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a funny story. They eventually get bought up by the owner of AEW, and it's sort of like their satellite show.
Okay, cool.
So like it's not the same.
Yes.
Yeah, they got saved. It's different. It's professional wrestling. I always like something different. So let us move on to our segment. We watched. We watched what has been called Le Dinner Debonaire.
Le Dinner Debonaire. That's such a fancy
so this
title.
Was the MJF Chris Jericho segment from AEW. I think it was Dynamite at this point. It aired October 23rd, 2020. So we are in the heart of the pandemic. And I wanted to show this to Brian because we are both musical theater nerds. And this was a musical theater segment in the middle of a wrestling show.
God, I wrote down, I love sitcoms at first. I loved it so much. It was so good at the beginning. Yeah, like there's like, they try not to, there's like some fourth wall breaking. They're going back and forth. But no, like, what did you think of it? I was entertained. I loved it. I loved it a lot. Is blue a real thing? Can you order a steak blue?
I don't know. Let's find out. I'm sure I can edit this out. Let's type this up. Blue steak. so apparently it is. Blue steak is a very rare doneness level that is a light sear on the outside and vibrant red interior.
I hate it. I think that's awful.
Yeah, so it looks like I hate searing. Like it's like, oh, you want it burnt on the outside? Like just pick a flavor or pick something.
Just cook it for me. I just want to eat it.
Yeah,
please.
Come on, Gordon Ramsay. I don't
just
need all this.
Cook it for me.
So the segment starts off with the context of the scene. Now that we watched it, is MJF is trying to become a part of Chris Jericho's faction, the Inner Circle. And
I was like, the Inner Circle. You have an Illuminati of wrestlers over here.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho, when he first starts in AEW, creates a faction called the Inner Circle, and now MJF, who is a bad guy, is trying to become a part of it, but he also is like kind of a douchebag and trying to destroy it from within and sort of this kind of stuff.
But he has a great singing voice, though. Let me tell you.
Yes. So MJF, it came out, it might have even been before this, but there's clips of his name is Maxwell Jacob Freedom, MJF. There is clips of him doing show choir in high school.
Oh God, I'm sure it's great.
Yeah, so obviously they wanted to use his musical talents. Apparently,
Chris Jericho, he followed suit, but Maxwell was a little bit better.
Yeah, so Chris Jericho is a rock singer, and you could tell very, like, he's talked about like how bad he sounded on his first, Chris Jericho, how bad he sounded on his first album, and he had to quote unquote learn to sing. But I found it funny.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Chris Jericho's an actual like rock musician. He's a rock singer.
Yes, he has a band called Fozzy, Fozz.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look up Fozzy.
We'll watch him at some point. I do have an idea for wrestlers in music videos concept. Yeah! So that'll be that'll be so far. But no, so like he has some musical background, some musical. I mean, he sang, but you could tell that MJF knows how to fully support and uses diaphragm.
Yeah. Oh God, he was so good. He got some vibrato in there, my dude.
And I can't tell if it's because they were filming it so many times, because this wasn't like a live thing that happened. They filmed it the night before. They were editing it. It almost didn't make it to air because they almost got like a copyright strike against the song they wanted to use.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, but like you can see Chris throughout it, it's like he's getting redder and red, and eventually he's as red as his suit because you can tell he's so out of breath and can't because they say this about like Britney Spears and Taylor Swift. It's like, it's one thing to sing. It's another thing to sing, dance, and run around a stage and maintain your breath work, which I mean, Chris can sort of do that with like Rockstar, but like choreographing, all the kicking, the keeping everything in your head and stuff like that. I mean, you can obviously sometimes use a little flat, sometimes use a little like off rhythm, and MJF is just mowing them down.
He's just carrying the team. I loved it.
Yeah. So this was quite the subject on wrestling Twitter.
I'm sure this is a departure from, I would say, manly wrestling.
Yeah,
These
I know.
are some manly dudes.
Yeah, I know.
And here they are dancing and singing now. And I'm sure people had a fit.
Yeah. So like hardcore professional wrestling fans that like love like the three-way match that we watch, where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be a sport. It's supposed to seem real. Like, how is this real? Like, I don't know what, like, they can't even, like, it's like, just relax.
Like, just enjoy it, man.
Just like we said at the beginning of the podcast, go out, take a walk.
Yeah.
Like maybe this isn't for you, but like this is something, like I showed it to my wife, and she's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say this is around the Tony Awards. No, this is definitely not around the Tony. Maybe it was around the Tony Awards because, so this is another thing we have to talk about. So this is in the heart of the pandemic. So we're eventually going to watch a couple of pandemic era matches where there is no crowd, and how wrestling has to sort of deal with that when it's just empty silence.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah.
So now they're trying to so at this point, like a lot of places are shut down. Eventually WWE and now AEW, who is also based in Florida, just start filming at a designated place, and they just basically go around the set trying to figure out certain stuff to do. So obviously they had this area, they figured it out, they got the dancers in and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Exactly.
I loved it. Wee wah wee.
Yeah, and then Chris Jericho, who's also talked about, he's like, MJF originally wanted an Elton John song. I don't remember exactly what it was. They eventually get on this. They film it all throughout the night the day before. They're editing it, and then they said they did not finish editing it until 12 minutes to air. Now,
that's amazing.
Yes,
that's so good,
and it's very well edited. It's obviously edited. Like, I don't know how it would have felt if it was like a one take sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because that's like another thing. Like, you see professional wrestling segments, and it's like, oh, like, I never understand why we're backstage to begin with. Like, why are we watching this person? Like it's again, like they have to turn it into a TV show. Certain companies, again, don't get too far down the rabbit hole, but like some of them do treat it almost like found footage, which I thought was an interesting concept. They obviously don't do that here, but like, how do you sort of not break the wall but not break the wall?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So any final thoughts on Le Dinner Debonaire?
Nope, I loved it. Give me more of it. Come on, wrestling. Let's get more musical in here.
I'm trying to. There is a wrestling musical out there right now. I can't remember what it is called.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
we're going
exactly. I'll see if I can find a clip for it. So yes, that will finish up our Le Dinner Debonaire segment. So now is the time in the show that we play a fun game called Who's That Wrestler? This is the segment where I show Brian a photo of a professional wrestler, and I get him to figure out who's that wrestler. So today's wrestler, who Brian can now see, unfortunately, this is still an audio podcast. I'll try and explain this for those of you at home. The photo we are looking at is a very, I'll call him a manly wrestler. He's got some manly hair, but he's also got some makeup on, some frills, some tassels, and then he has some feathers in his hair, some braided hair. For those of you at home, I'm sure you're also playing along, trying to figure out who this may be. Brian?
Got some butterfly makeup? Yeah. Butterfly makeup on his eyes?
Who's this wrestler?
The first initial name was Burley Quinn, was who came up. But now I'm thinking like Butterfly Brawny is his stage name here.
Yeah, Butterfly Brawny. Any other guesses?
Any other guesses of like real wrestler names that I might know?
Again, what do you think his name is?
Oh man, he's the blonde bomb. I don't know.
I'm actually going to pull up another photo because I see another photo here. This is another great photo of him. He's wearing
Polka Dot Pete.
Yeah, Polka Dot Pete. For those of you at home, I switched to a photo. He's wearing polka dots and roses all over his tights. He has what I can only assume is a lingerie cape.
Is he Queen of Hearts? Is he the Queen of Hearts?
Yeah, this is Alice in Wonderland, the dirty version.
The dirty version. This is the one that you can't watch with your grandma.
Yes. So
unless you have a weird relationship with your grandma.
Well, maybe your grandma, because this is a wrestler from the 1970s. This is, for those of you at home, if you haven't already guessed it, this is Exotic Adrian Street.
Exotic Adrian Street.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard that name before in my life.
So he is a British wrestler. He has since passed away.
Oh, this is like some glam rock stuff coming over for like
David Bowie style stuff. So just to read off his Wikipedia page, just to give you a little bit of a little bit of context. Exotic Adrian Street created the exotic image, an outrageously attired, effeminate character who was implied but never practically stated to be gay character. He was messing with the audience, and he found out he was getting more of a reaction, according to him playing a puff. Yeah, so the character was designed to sort of get a reaction out of the audience, because especially in the 70s.
I'm sure he was a villain among wrestlers. Was he a villain? Like, did everybody want to beat him up?
It sort of depends. I would say at that point, yes.
That's rough.
Unfortunately, but like, there's certain style characters where like you try and be a part of the bit but not make fun of the bit. It's like you're feminine, but you're not trying not to make it like too feminine, or you're trying to like make fun of it as well.
Got you.
So no, that is Exotic Adrian Street.
Exotic Adrian Street.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the Wrestling Without Context podcast. That'll do it for us today. Please follow us on all forms of social media, some forms of social media, actually. We are not on Facebook as of yet, but we are on Twitter. Please follow us at Wrestling Without Context. That's Wrestle, WOCONTXT. We are also on Blue Sky under the same name. you can also follow us on YouTube, where we will also be posting the show. And hey, maybe it'll become a video podcast as well.
We've Frenched too.
Yes. So be on the lookout. We are going to be a bi-weekly podcast. So every 2 weeks, we will be coming out with an episode. Episode 3 should drop about exactly 2 weeks after this one. And for episode 3, we will be around WrestleMania season. So we will be doing a WrestleMania themed show. So what will we be watching? Even though we already watched a WrestleMania show, we're going to watch something else too.
I'm sure there's plenty that I haven't seen. So
yes, I think we're up to 41 at this point. There's been 41 WrestleManias.
Holy cow. And I haven't even seen a full one.
Yes. So that'll just about do it for us. Anything before we leave, Brian?
I hope you all are having a great weekend. And no, cut that out. That's dumb. Nope. No. That's it for me.
No, that's Brian. I'm sorry. That's staying in.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I gotcha.
All right. Well, I do hope you all have a great weekend then. I don't know when you're listening to this, but it's somebody's weekend.
Yeah, at some point, have a good weekend. Whether it's you're on a Monday or you're listening on the weekend, wherever you're listening to, have a good weekend from all of us over here at Wrestling Without Context Podcast. Thanks for listening, podcast listeners, and we will see you next time.
A flying knee, he's clueless about the ring's legacy. He called a steel cage a fancy shed, said lucha masks are hats for your head. He thinks the Undertaker's just a grave guy. This poor dude's living a wrestling lie. Brian doesn't know the ropes or the show. Tag teams and belts are all Greek to his soul. Every calls a weak spin move. Brian doesn't know he's got nothing to prove. Missed WrestleMania 4 and in class, confused a pile driver with a chair to crash. He thought kayfabe was a type of pie. Stop pretending, kid, we all sigh. The crowd chants loud, but he's writing checks. He thought ahead, but was just bad next. We tried to teach him the world of the ring, but Brian shrugs off everything. Brian doesn't know the ropes or the show. Tag teams and belts are all Greek to his soul. Every finisher he calls a weak spin move. Brian doesn't know he's got nothing to prove.